What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and historic, incredible news coming out. I'm sure you've probably already seen the headlines as former President Donald Trump's Mar-A-Lago home has been raided by the FBI, and the White House is claiming they knew nothing about it, and I believe it because if they did, man, this is absolutely the worst timing for Democrats as they're trying to prep for the midterm elections. Yesterday, I shared with you in a video that the president, he signed into law finally that CHIPS bill, just totally overshadowed by this as they're trying to get progress to win these midterm elections. But this is taking to the forefront across headlines, and it is unifying the Republican Party. You will not believe everything that's unfolding. This is going to mean that Democrats are going to have to double down on provisions, on stimulus, on legislation, on an assortment of other things, as it's all being overshadowed by this. Now, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest, let you know the details of what's unfolding about this investigation into the former president's house, the raid, and what it all means for stimulus. So let's go ahead and dive right in. This is your breaking news stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, first off, take a look at some of the headlines. Now, these came out last night. Didn't get a chance to get the video up. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest this morning. Take a look. When I got these screenshots, it was a live update. Search of Trump's Florida residence signals depth of the federal investigation. Also coming out, the FBI, the search that took place, they said, was separate from the Justice Department's January 6th investigation. So they said this was something totally different. The House GOP, though, is now rallying around Trump after the FBI search. And yes, we're hearing Republicans across the board are saying this is not right, this is not okay. Is there probable cause? And they're saying there is not if it's just searching for documents that they think have been taken or destroyed. And they're saying a lot of them are saying, what about Hillary Clinton and the emails? You didn't search and raid her house. Take a look, you guys. The FBI search ignites the language of violence and civil war of the far right as they are just extremely upset, saying this is not okay for this to take place. Here's another one. A man's home is a sacred place. Wisconsin Republicans condemn the FBI search of Trump's home. And we're hearing that there is unification and rallying on the right against the actions that have been taken against the former president. And even Mike Pence says the FBI search of Trump's home raises deep concern and urges Garland to explain. And you guys, I've got video footage. You're going to be hearing everything that's unfolded. I'm going to share with you the footage that came out yesterday and the footage coming out this morning with updates as to where things currently stand. And you guys, as I mentioned, you're going to be seeing the footage from the White House. They're saying that Biden was not aware of the FBI raid at Trump's Mar-A-Lago home. And like I said, if they did know, that is the absolute worst time to perform this. Honestly, strategically, it probably would have been better for them to say, okay, if this needs to take place, is there any way that we could hold this off until after the midterm elections? Does this need to take place now? So if they did know about it, man, I gotta say the timing is really, really bad, and we're seeing the effects of this already. Republicans are rallying, and it's looking more and more like a red wave in these midterm elections. So you guys, we're gonna dive right in and get you caught up on the latest. Now, before we do me a quick favor, smash the like button if you appreciate the updates as to everything that's going on, and all of this is tied together. This is gonna be impacting legislation, midterm elections, stimulus. It's all gonna have a dominoes effect. Now, also, leave your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Share it out if you think it could help out other people. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Come join the Ram fam. All you got to do is very quickly hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. And as you guys know, here on this channel, I keep you up to date on stimulus and stimulus checks and everything going on in the economy. And right now, there are literally tons and tons of checks all over the nation that people do not know about on state, city, and county levels going out all the time. And people are missing out because these are only available for a limited amount of time. You got to be eligible, and in most cases, you got to apply. You got to know where to go to be able to apply and get the information, and it's just a mess. And a lot of people, it's too difficult for them to figure out. We heard about one in Connecticut where it's been going on for 6 months, and only 1% of the money has actually gone out. And you guys, well, I want to make sure that my viewing community doesn't miss out on anything. So as you know, I'm assembling a comprehensive list of all the checks. And if you want access to it, you want to know what's going on so you don't miss out, and you want to stay regularly updated, Go to my landing page, www.reliefroadmap.com, enter in your email, get added to the wait list, working on that list, hoping to have it released here soon before August 22nd. And you're going to be able to get every single check information that's available. So you guys keep an eye out for that. Like I said, if you haven't already, add your email at the website. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. Let's take a look at the video footage, and you're going to start off first with what we saw yesterday. They're going to give you information, and as I said, all of this is going to be impacting legislation and stimulus we're going to discuss here at the end, and then we're going to give you an update too as to what's just coming out right now. Let's go ahead and take a look.
We're going to begin with the news right now. I want to get to the investigation of former President Trump. There you see him leaving Trump Tower last night after news broke of the FBI searching his Florida residence, Mar-A-Lago. Chief Washington correspondent John Karl starts us off. Good morning, John.
Good morning, George. This may be the most politically explosive raid ever undertaken by the FBI. It's a stunning development. The FBI executing a search warrant at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago property in Palm Beach, Florida, the place Trump has called the Southern White House. Trump himself revealed the news overnight, calling it an unannounced raid on my home, saying in a statement agents even broke into my safe, and claiming his home, quote, is currently under siege, raided and occupied by a large group of FBI agents. Trump was in New York at the time, not Mar-a-Lago. He ignored questions as he left Trump Tower. Federal law enforcement sources confirm agents executed a search warrant at around 10 a.m. Monday. Sources tell ABC News the action was related to allegations Trump improperly removed documents, including classified documents from the White House when he left office. In January, the National Archives retrieved 15 boxes worth of White House documents from Mar-a-Lago with Trump's cooperation. Sources tell ABC News the Department of Justice had started a grand jury investigation in May into Trump's alleged mishandling of classified information. They subpoenaed the National Archives for the classified material it had retrieved from Mar-a-Lago. Attorney General Merrick Garland has been tight-lipped about any investigations related to Trump, but he made clear last month that nobody, not even a former president, is immune from prosecution.
No person is above the law in this country. Nothing stops us.
Even a former president?
I don't know how to, maybe I'll say that again. No person is above the law in this country.
The FBI had no comment, but Trump put out a lengthy statement calling the search politically motivated and attacking the FBI, though FBI Director Christopher Wray was handpicked by Trump to replace James Comey after Trump fired Comey. Law enforcement sources say the search warrant was approved by a federal judge, something that would have required agents to demonstrate probable cause that a crime or crimes were committed. Republican leaders are lashing out at the FBI and the Justice Department. Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader in the House, for example, putting out a statement saying, quote, the Department of Justice has reached an intolerable state of weaponized politicization. George?
John, you called it at the start the most politically explosive FBI search probably in American history, but it's not the first time they've looked at Mar-a-Lago.
In fact, George, ABC News has learned that a contingent, much smaller contingent of law enforcement agents visited Mar-a-Lago this spring. Trump was actually there at the time. They met with his lawyers, and they did retrieve some documents. Apparently, however, they were not satisfied with what they received at that last visit.
Okay,
George.
John Karl, thanks very much. Let's bring in our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. First, you got to kind of take a breath. FBI raid on the home of a former president. Let's walk everyone through the process so they understand what would have to happen for that FBI search to take place.
Right. First thing is they have to go to a judge, right? They have to be able to prove that there's probable cause that a crime was committed and that there could be evidence at this specific home. They have to be specific in the warrant. Judge has to then sign off on that. But even before that happened...
Well, that's what I wanted to do.
Even before that happened, you have got to believe that the highest levels of the Justice Department signed off on.
The White House says they didn't know about it, but clearly Christopher Wray, the FBI director, would have known.
No doubt Christopher Wray knew about it.
I guess the open question would be, did Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, know about it, or his deputy, Lisa Monaco?
I've got to believe that Merrick Garland knew about this. You have to. I mean, when you're talking about going to the former President of the United States home, the implications are so significant that you have to believe that Merrick Garland knew about it, and specifically that they wouldn't tell the President of the United States about it. I mean, it's for the same reason that Merrick Garland needs to know about it, is the reason that I think they want to make sure that the President doesn't know about it and isn't involved.
We believe they took documents away from Mar-A-Lago. There are questions about mishandling of classified information. That, of course, is a crime.
Yep.
It could prevent the president from running again, although that law is at issue. But there has to be something more, right?
I completely agree with you that to send this kind of FBI team to the former president's home, there has to be something more than just a Presidential Records Act violation. They have to know something that we don't know about yet. And I think that's why it's really important to pause here. We haven't seen the warrant. We don't know exactly what the possible crime is. And I'm not convinced that it's simply just a Records Act violation.
Well, then let's flip that around. If it is indeed just a Records Act violation?
I would think that that's overreach. I think if it's just literally that the president has documents that he was legally obligated to turn over and there's nothing more, I would think that would be a mistake on the part of the Justice Department. But we have seen great care by this Justice Department not to go too far, which is further why I don't believe that it's just
and that would be different from destroying documents or lying about whether you had the documents.
Correct. But again, proving that you destroyed the documents is a different issue than simply going there and trying to retrieve documents that the government believes belongs to it.
What a case.
Unbelievable. I mean, stunning. And that so few people knew about it, that it was coming as well.
Dan Abrams, thanks very much.
So there you have it, you guys. That was the information released yesterday. Now, today, this morning, I'm going to share with you the video footage as we're hearing, as the attorney said, the probable cause was simply trying to find missing documents. And if that's the only case, like he said, they're saying that's a huge overreach of power, that was not necessary. And that is the complaint of the right now. And as I mentioned, in regards to midterm elections, which is going to be a huge determination about the passage of legislation, stimulus, the ability to pass more reconciliation bills, we're hearing that this is unifying the right. Republicans are saying this is not okay. They're rallying behind former President Donald Trump, and they're saying that this is perfect timing for him and really, really bad for Democrats in these midterm elections and for the current president, Joe Biden. So this could be a huge push for him for his 2024 run. And right now we're hearing that Republicans, this is going to give them an additional push in these midterm elections. So the only way that Democrats are going to be able to combat this, if this is what it is right now, is just the FBI's raid on former President Donald Trump's home for documents, they're going to have to double down with more provisions and executive orders and actions or something huge to try to overshadow this, to try to turn things back in their favor, because we heard that with the passage of the recent CHIPS bill, also the passage in the Senate of the reconciliation bill. Finally, we were starting to hear that there was a blue wall that was going to stand against a red wave, but now this is going to make that red wave even bigger. So we will see, you guys. I'm going to keep you up to date. Midterm elections going through in the next 90 days. But take a look at this update coming out this morning.
Sit back, because we have got a lot to cover. There continues to be more questions than answers about the FBI search of Donald Trump's Florida home, an event that has ignited a political and legal firestorm. NBC News reports the FBI search was related to classified information Trump allegedly took with him from the White House in January 2021. Trump's lawyer confirms to NBC News that agents took about a dozen boxes from a basement storage area. She says Trump's legal team was talking to the Justice Department about White House records and that officials had come to Mar-A-Lago this spring to discuss that matter. That was after 15 boxes of documents were already returned to the National Archives earlier this year. Tonight, the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post report that Monday's search came after the feds got concerned that some records were still being withheld. The former president and his allies have relentlessly attacked the FBI and the DOJ for conducting the search, and they've implied that President Biden was behind it, which the White House denies.
No. The president was not briefed, was not aware of it. No one at the White House was given a heads up. No, that did not happen.
And just 24 hours after the search, the FBI seized the cell phone of a key Trump ally, Republican Congressman Scott Perry of Pennsylvania. According to Perry, the agents presented him with a search warrant to confiscate the phone. Perry, the head of the far-right House Freedom Caucus, turned the election. Tonight, Perry issued this statement, quote, "My phone contains info about my legislative and political activities and personal, private discussions with my wife, family, constituents, and friends. None of this is the government's business."
So there you have it, you guys. Now, this is huge. This is historic. We've never seen anything to this extent or this level with a former president, where his home is being raided, and we're hearing with such little probable cause. They're saying a massive overreach. However, know that this is by no means the end of this. This is just the beginning, and something huge is probably going to come from this. If there is, in fact, some sort of criminal charges or things coming out, this would mean the end of a 2024 run for former President Donald Trump. Or if this is nothing comes of this, this is going to be huge, because this is going to be rallying Republicans, and it is going to just hyper speed his 2024 run for president. So this is a major piece of news coming out, you guys. This is huge, and like they said, historic. We've never seen anything to this degree done before to a former president. So we will see. I will keep you up to date, and know that this is all going to be tied into Congress, legislation, stimulus, and I'll let you know here on the channel. But as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to take a quick second, smash that like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. Leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Any specific questions, hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, where you can learn about growing wealth and personal finance. And if you haven't already, add your email at www.reliefroadmap.com to get access, add your name to the waiting list for the comprehensive list of all stimulus checks across the nation for cities, states, counties, everything, so you don't miss out on anything. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.